And 3, 2, 1.
I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby. Waking up inside of you, baby. I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby.
Welcome back, Powerheads, for the craziest episode in the craziest series ever. Ghost Book 2, Season 2, Episode 8. Completely bonkers. Without going into too much detail before we just unravel it, did you guys think the same? Wow.
Literally craziest episode, any Power season, any spinoff season, any of that. This was the craziest episode in the history.
All right, so let's get in it from the very beginning. So we got the court sequence going on there, and your girl, Jenny McCarthy, is running through the loops, and she's trying to say, we're going to prove that Tariq is bad and all this stuff. And then McClain Davis does his thing, man. He emphasizes everything that's right about Tariq, which is, straight A student, Dean's List, actually trying to adopt his little sister. Her attack seemed kind of crappy. So then she pulls out the tape out of her behind, and then so that was crazy. She's like, we got evidence. And then McClain Davis is like, what evidence? We never heard any type of tape. And so they approach the bench, and then she tells the judge, she's like, well, we were feared for her safety.
What's funny about that is that, so my girlfriend, she's a lawyer, and I was asking her about that, and she was like, the judge made, in her opinion, the right call, because regardless of whether you're worried about somebody's safety or not, you can't just bring up evidence that's not been put forward during discovery. So unless, of course, say you're on the stand and you make a statement, and then there's other evidence that would stand for you to have been telling a lie, then now they can introduce that without having to put that forward in discovery. But, no one's taken the stand yet. There's no way that they were going to get away with playing that audio without that being part of discovery. They were never going to get away with that.
Yeah.
It was a good try, though.
So Judge is like, he's Judge Lupus, Judge Lupo. He tells him, you got to go ahead and, she's going to have to testify pretty much. You got to turn over that tape. But he warns McClain Davis. He's like, you can't play that for your client. That's only for the team. And you know how that goes. So we'll get to that in a bit. Then it's like, it's time to get some new supply. And they go to Sweaty. You remember Sweaty?
I remember Sweaty.
Oh, didn't him and Braden go for it?
Yeah, Sweaty came forward with bullshit this time. I mean, it was like stepped on coke and weed. And they're like, we don't sell weed. Like, I don't care about OG, Kush, whatever the hell you're talking about.
Who discovered that with the young Pinky?
Effie.
Bam.
And I'm sorry, might I say, Effie has been looking impeccable lately. Jesus Christ.
Yes, we'll get to that. We'll get to that part in a bit.
Yes.
So they kick Sweaty to the curb, and he's out of there. Your boy Daniel, the attorney Daniel, shows up. Never good news. He's not an asshole like Kevin Whitman, but he still brings never good news. So what's he hit Tariq with this time?
Man, it's Tariq with basically, unless he can figure this situation out. This is already in foster care, and she's about to get adopted. She's going to have her last name changed. The record will be sealed, and that there will be no way of finding her. And that was what Ghost, wanted. God forbid the family was not around to take care of her. And he wanted her name changed specifically so that she did not have to deal with having that last name for the rest of her life and having a target on her back.
So Tariq is a little surprised that Ghost put on all these actions in before he passed, which really stands to the point of
Ghost is still pulling damn puppet strings from the grave. I don't know how he's doing.
I don't think he's pulling. He's not pulling them for the grave, bro. That's a bit much. That's a bit much.
I'm gonna say he's in the grave, man. He wrote that in there, and he was like, "Look, I don't want my daughter to have to deal with this if she doesn't have to. So if for some reason everybody is gone and she's the last one left, I want her to have a good chance at life." I think he's still pulling from the grave.
So he's talking to Cleo before that passes. He's running the algorithm. He's got some kind of inside scoop to the Pythagorean theorem. How is he doing this? How is he predicting all these possibilities and still running for lieutenant governor?
He's not running for lieutenant governor anymore. Come on now.
Yeah, no, that's my point. That's my point. So he's coming up with all these future strategies, and I'm about to die like Tupac. He's already talked to the lawyer. He's got a plan. He's busy trying to juggle a love life with Ramona and run for lieutenant governor.
He also knew, first of all, the Queen Shaw's project is never going to open. Come on. They've been trying to open that for like 3 seasons. It was never going to open. But no, I really do think that he knew Tariq, unfortunately, was probably going to grow up and be another him. So he knew Tariq's going to be a murderer. And, he didn't want his daughter to go through that. So I think he honestly was like, look, if she has the possibility, because Tariq's going to go away, probably Tasha's going to go away, she's going to be the only one left. Let's get her out of this and not have this name.
And on the real, him and Yasmin, and Carlito, and Ghost are just sitting there chilling with the Hawaiian Punch dude on the beach, sipping pinatas, all that stuff, pina coladas. He's around. He just scooped her up. That's it. So move forward. You got the mother bonding moment. Supposedly, of course, that all goes wrong because Monet is trying to talk to Diana, and it's not really getting anywhere. And Diana's like, Monet is like, where's everybody at? And next thing you know, her phone is blowing up. And who is it?
Dante.
But the problem is
Mecca.
But then the problem is that by now, Di has seen her phone light up twice with D on it and calling her name. So she follows her down the hallway and she hears her talking about Dante. And it's like, oh, and why is she hiding Dante? So she's kind of getting a big idea what's really going down. So she goes ahead, she starts searching through a room once Monet leaves, and she discovers something.
Mary J got real sloppy. Look, very, very sloppy. Like, come on, you took the Bible out of the hospital that was stamped with the hospital's name in it and had a picture of Zeke in it. Oh my God, come on now.
But you gotta say Monet, she understands the rule, and the real rule is that no Tejada can touch the Bible.
But Diana doesn't care, because Diana at this point is like, look, I need to figure out what's going on. There's obviously something that's going on. And Monet's been acting weird ever since Tejada got home. So Diana's been picking up on it, and she figures it out.
And then so she sees a baby that looks confused. And so it's easily identifiable with Zeke. So,
and what has his name on the back of the
Yeah, but even before she turned it over, this dude was like, "That's a baby." Like, I don't get it.
He looked half slow as a baby, so it makes sense. But he still looks half slow every day of the week, and twice on Sundays.
They rolling up. Tariq gives the bad news about no supply and all that, putting his little brain to work, which has already started cooking. Back when your boy, last episode, Kane told him, "You the smart nigga, figure something out." He comes up with the brainstorm. He's like, 1 and 1 is 2, we robbing Mecca. And of course, Kane is ready to shoot that down because first of all, it's Tariq's idea. So that's number 1. Monet's down with it. They're talking about it. They all meeting in the back of this coffee shop. And that was like a pretty fat knot for a meeting. Wouldn't you say?
He had to pay for his interest in the meeting, but it was a decent size.
But damn, it's like, how many G's was that in that knot?
Well, probably 2, 3.
Yeah. So anyway, they go back there. They had a little meeting. They're like, how do you figure this? How do you figure, we're gonna rob Mecca? Security's tight, and all that. And he was like, oh no, don't worry about it. We're not even going to be there. We're gonna get GTG. Hey, number 1, Kane. That's your boy. He's under your thumb. And then we got a team. We're all gonna work together. And originally, your boy Kane is like goo goo gaga, as he is over all of Tariq's women. So he sees Effie. We could be together. And then Kane brings up the fact that, okay, we need more than drugs. We need money. And he's like, well, wait a minute. I think I got a way that can happen. But we're gonna have to get Drew on board. So they go ahead and they approach Drew about the situation. And they're like, look, this ends up with your boy Guap 6 feet under. Don't you like this idea? And he's like, nah, only if I put him there.
Exactly. And I think that was a big thing, was that Drew and Kane have been going back and forth. And obviously, Zoe picked Drew to be, kind of like his right hand, his next in line. And there's been that ongoing battle between Drew and Kane. And so I think Drew was like, no. Yeah, I mean, he put a gun to Zeke's knee. He knows who he is. So you have to assume that he's like, if he's gonna shoot Zeke's knee, he's probably gonna kill me. You know,
everybody.
It's possible because I'm a witness. It's a situation where he's like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna prove myself. I'm gonna deal with it.
There you go. So, but remember the first time he stopped just short right after he rearranged his braids going in the opposite direction. You know, he didn't end up killing him and stuff. You know, he kind of let him off the hook. So that was seen as a little soft. But remember, this is pre Poppy Zoe getting out.
Exactly.
Poppy Zoe's putting all the trust and all the belief in him. And he's waking the killer. Because look what happened the last time when he went ahead and to go get a keynote. He wasn't supposed to pull the trigger. It was Zoe supposed to pull the trigger. And Drew.
And that's why Zoe killed the woman that was there, because he was like, look, if it's on me, I'd have been okay leaving her alive. But you pulled the trigger? Nah, no loose ends.
But do you really believe that? she was smoke regardless. He just wants to make him feel a certain way about it.
I don't think so. I think Zoe doesn't care anymore, because Zoe knows even if he has to go to jail, he's good. Like, he's fine. He
wasn't sweating too much when he was in there, that's for sure. So we already got your boy got one notch under his belt. He's already killed somebody else. So, you know, it looks like he's on that path now. He's got that killer instinct. So before we go to McLean Davis's office, and he's like, yo, they put us in a bad way. We got this tape and it's showing that, you know, you're talking to somebody and you're saying pretty much you knew about the book. And, you know, that's pretty damning evidence. And, you know, I can't let you hear this, but I got to go make a dinner reservation.
He was like, if I were to hit Spacebar,
this
were to start playing, I could lose my license, the reputation of this firm. And he's like, but you know what, though? I got to go. And at first, Tariq, with his dumb ass, was like, yo, what are you doing? Look at him like, you hit space. Like, you know what I mean? That's what he was trying to tell him. If I leave and you hit Spacebar and listen, you know, what you did when I was gone is not on me.
So he's rolling out of the office and Sax is like, hey, I just want to make sure, and I did like this line right here, I just want to make sure you don't do anything to St. Patrick Day.
It was hilarious. It was a hilarious line.
I was like, that's pretty good.
Because that is a very St. Patrick thing to do. Like,
kill everybody.
Yeah, just kill everybody. And there's nobody that's going to testify. There's no witnesses. That's the St. Patrick's. But no, you know, he asked him and then he slipped up. And I think the biggest key to this entire episode was the slip up. And he was like, yeah. And Carrie Milton.
Yep.
And Tariq's wheels got spinning on that. Because he was like, you know what? I found a way for Lauren to get out of this. And I know my lawyer will demolish her on cross without me ever having to say that I was ever a part of this.
I don't think that he knew that. I think he met her. They rolled out of the classroom almost the same time. He met her at Lauren's crib. I knew he knew that she was going to run to Lauren's crib. I knew that he was going to convince her, you know, to take the stand. But he didn't know about Carrie Milgram's indiscretions.
I do think that he knew what he was doing because, first of all, he knew she was sleeping with Zeke, which is automatically going to be a breach of her character while she's on the stand, right? And he knew she was sleeping with Jabari Reynolds, right? So now you got two breaches of her character on the stand, okay? Here's the thing. He knew McLean Davis could tear her apart. And because she was lying on the stand, he accomplished two birds with one stone. He knew she was an easy mark, and he made it so that Lauren didn't have to testify. I think that was in his mind the entire time. He knew about the two. Yeah, I don't think he knew about the lead investigator. I don't think he knew about even McLean Davis. But it didn't matter because the other two were enough, because he put her words in her mouth of, oh, you know, you said you would never. Yep, you said you would never hurt a student
for your own personal gain.
She kept looking at him the entire time, and she essentially said everything he told her to say. And McLean Davis came and ate her alive on the cross.
There you go. So that's more Willie and Lester. So you know that Willie and Lester picture's coming up again this episode. But here's the thing. I mean, Jenny's so stupid because it's like, I guess she felt that prosecutor sisterhood, because Carrie used to be a prosecutor. I can believe her. And it's like, I guess I'll just go ahead and discharge Lauren. And it's like, I guess since they switched off of Lauren, it was to protect her as well. They can't really go back to her. So
they can't. They can't go back. They can't go back. It's gonna look like you're desperate to try to get this individual. Like, she got ate up on cross.
Like Cookie Monster. Nom, 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 nom.
And let's be real, Lauren would have gotten demolished on cross too. She was not ready for that. Lauren would have gotten absolutely eaten alive on cross.
But not this bad. See, here's the thing. Lauren doesn't have any faults that you could expose her with. She would be nervous and he would break her down and all that shit. But he just eviscerated her.
She would lie for Tariq because she'd be wanting to help.
She'd be too scared, bro. Too scared. Mm-mm. That's why they have problems so far. Remember, she was like, I don't know, and all this shit. And that's leaving room for Diana and Effie to jump in there. But
because guess what? Diana and Effie, hey, look, they're like, oh, you're not with Lauren anymore? Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna come over here and put this thing on you like every other night. We're gonna just rotate and
tag team.
Exactly. They've been waiting on him to break up with Lauren.
Yeah, but they don't see. Here's the thing. Effie thinks she got her out of the picture. She rocketed Diana out of the picture by saying, oh, he wasn't right for you. You know what I mean? Just like, let him go. I learned that lesson myself, and then she's trying to jump. But then what's happening is Monet she goes through her stuff too, and she figures out, she's like, a purse full of condoms. Now, let me ask you a question, okay? She's already gone to the game, so she's going to see Tariq, right? So if she's going to see Tariq, she might think something about to happen, and she's going to have condoms with her. So does she have condoms in a purse for every day of the week? Because, man, they're getting it in.
No, I think that was the purse that she had with her when she went over to Tariq's house that night that, things happened. She put that purse back in her lineup of purses, but never took everything out of it. It's funny because, like, I realized this. My girlfriend will be like, we'll get out somewhere. She'll be like, oh, damn, I left that in my other purse. You know what I mean? Not, just anything. She'll be like, oh, I left it, because they change purses all the time.
Yeah, but Diana's prepared. Diana's prepared. So either she's got a condom machine in her closet or she forgot to switch out. All right, so everybody's still going down with the scheme. Monet was with it from the beginning, and she's like, I gotta, they're like, we gotta get Zoe out of the picture. She's like, all right, I guess that falls on me. So it's time for a trip to Coney Island. So meanwhile, what's going down is the joint is getting robbed. The hangar's getting robbed. And, it's the GTG dudes in there, and they're like, ha, we got the drugs. And next thing some soldiers come in, some Mecca soldiers, some Meccaites.
Yeah, they came in crazy.
Yeah, so there was only one left. And if Rocky was there, it wouldn't have been no left. They end up getting mopping the floor, but there's one GTG dude left, and he's able to get the product out. So he goes ahead and communicates that to Little Guap while they're all on the mission. And, the big man's out of Coney Island. So everybody's going together, and they're going to go ahead and make shit happen, because that's phase one. Phase A, they got the drugs. Phase B, they gotta get the Lucci. We're up there, we're preparing for war. Kane is with Mecca. The chef is there. And something that they have not told us about right now, and it may be a little seed of doubts that Kane had already dropped on Chef to try to lead up to an incrimination of him, or maybe Mecca had found out something about Chef already. Because if you noticed, before any mention of GTG shit comes up, your boy was hostile towards Chef.
They were at odds. It was crazy. And I was like, wait, where did this come from? I mean, I really do wish that the writers had given us a little bit more, backstory on why the two of them were at odds, because the two of them were thick as thieves,
yeah,
right? Man. They've been thick as thieves the entire episode. And now all of a sudden, he's talking to Chef very crazy. There's obviously something there. And I don't know where, that came from, but I mean, oh my God, it was very evident.
Yeah. So that was nuts, man. So the seeds were already planted, and which we got to just find out in the coming up episodes. Did that seed come from Kane, or did Chef Like, was Chef really a mole? Because he might have been a mole, you know what I'm saying? He might have actually had some type of plan in mind for Mecca's stuff. So Mecca's like, I'm going hunting. Kane is still at the hangar. All right, Mecca wants Kane to stay at the hangar with one of his dudes. But then, you know, Diana, good timing, calls, and he ignores the call and acts like it's Mecca, and he's got to roll out to meet Mecca. Meanwhile, your boy Drew is handling business. He's walking up the stairs, and you know they're talking all this crap. And I really knew, you know, the night, you know, outside of the college that, you know, you really were gangster. Yeah. So then he's like, I want to show you how much I appreciate you, and he gives him the gold fronts with the diamonds, which is the biggest mammoth shit ever. And Drew just looked at that joint, and he's like, "This is it." And so he throws a fucking knot in his head. And then he's like, you know, I appreciate the grill, but the knot was mine already. And he pulls out the silencer on it. But then Drew was like, what happened to the killer instinct? You know, he gets the gun knocked out of his hand. He gets knocked down the stairs. His ribs broken.
Drew been a pussy. Look, he did that. He did that when he was with his dad because he's trying to prove something to his dad. He's not built like that, because I'm telling you right now, if he was built like that, he'd have pulled that silencer out. He wouldn't need no more words. He'd have put 2 in the back of his head, and we'd have called it a day. And it'd have been over with. And he'd have put him down the same trash chute. He was getting ready to put him down after all that. He was scared to pull that trigger.
But he made up for it. He choked him out. So.
He did. I give him that because it was it. Because at that point, it was him or Guap. Somebody was not walking out of that stairwell alive. So yeah, at that point, of course, you know, I'll give him that. I mean, that's, you know, fight or flight. But at the same time, if he was really about that life, he'd have pulled that gun out with the silencer on it, and he'd have put one in the back of his head.
Well, they got to make it dramatic and whatnot. So, you know, that's crazy stuff right there.
But I think they could have built his character up, having him, you threaten my, you know, at this point, he still thinks it's his cousin. You threaten my cousin's life. You threaten my life. Cool. I'm putting one in the back of your head with a silencer and going about the mission the way it's supposed to go.
Your boy in the stairwell called him Drewzito, which stands for Little Drew.
Drew, yeah.
Bad last words, bro. So why are they in the building? They're in the building because it's like, you know, your boys, like, they're all together, and Effie's coming up with more skills and whatnot. She pickpockets the lady with the keys, you know, after she goes ahead and cuts the power. She's like a Swiss Army knife and whatnot.
Effie was looking amazing in that.
Oh my God.
Outfit. Oh my.
The schoolgirl skirt. Oh no.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, trust me. Yeah.
Call the principal.
Oh, my girlfriend don't see.
There's a disturbance in cafeteria 6.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, Effie was looking. Oh,
Mop up.
Good Lord. Okay, I digress.
Yeah, and then so Drew is the money man, and he goes in and sees this incredible, topaz or whatever the hell it was. It was like a $50 million ring.
There's a blue diamond. Diamond.
First of all, the case itself that came in, I was like, whoa, this is
the shit. I was like, damn, I'm about to propose. I can't even afford the case.
There you go. So he's about to get out of there, but that chef's still around. So Kane has to run out of the hangar and whatnot, and he goes ahead and he comes up to Chef, and he distracts Chef while Drew gets out of there. Drew gets in there and he's like, drive me to Raiden. But he threw the bag in the back with the pickpockets. She finds the ring immediately. Now, this is the real deal of this. Her heart is taken because she's a pickpocket, and she's always been about herself. And she gives this fat super $1 million ring to who?
Tariq.
Bam! She's over.
You know why? Because she's not about herself. Because she's fucking sprung.
That's what I'm saying.
Because she been waiting to get with Tariq for so long, and then all of a sudden she finds this opportunity, and she's like, you know, obviously see Lauren's not really the right person for you, and I've been here this whole time. I think the problem Tariq's gonna find himself is that both these women like him a little too much.
Bit. But now we got to take it forward. Speaking of Diana, we got to take it forward. We got to get it hot. The stove is on fire. The roof is on fire. Let it burn. Here it goes. Your girl Diana is busting everybody out at the table. She
outed everyone.
She came with the sugar, the product in there. So Zoe is already starting to get hot already. You fucking some dude named Dante. It's like, oh, and Zoe was just like, his neck was already big as hell. His neck is a thigh. And it was like veins were popping out on the thigh. And then so he's already getting super hot and whatnot. And then what happens is she is like, Zeke, that's not your auntie, that's your mother. He's like, here's the birth certificate. And
she's the bomb of all bombs, the bomb of all bombs. She was like, you know what? I outed everybody's bullshit, and then I saved this for a laugh. She's like, oh, here's Big Joker. I'm dropping it on the table, and there's nothing you can do about it. Y'all set. Y'all got a Boston rant on y'all.
Your boy is like, that's not the right birthday. That's my birthday. I'm born in 2002. And she's like, no, you were born in 1998. Now, okay.
23.
So here go the theories. Here go the theories. Okay. Number one, huge plot hole. A. Ding. B. He's been in a hyperbaric chamber with your boy Michael Jackson and the Elephant Man for 4 years. Bing. Or he is trapped in a loop with Groundhog Day from the Twilight Zone until Mary J comes bouncing in the picture with her dance and stuff, her seizure dance, and it breaks the spell. And now he's back in 2000 instead of 4 years later. None of those are possibilities because there's people around him while he's missing these 4 years. And is he so stupid where he repeats the same grade 4 years in a row? And then he keeps saying to himself, like, why does everybody keep leaving the class?
I know that my grandmother lied on my mother's birth certificate so that she could start school earlier. She lied about her actual birthday. It was a little bit easier, back then. But 4 years, no, my grandmother didn't lie about that. 4 years, goddamn, a couple months. My mom didn't find out until a lot later when a teacher in like high school, was like, oh, happy birthday. And my mom's sitting over there very fucking confused because she's like, my mom's like, it ain't my birthday. But
that's not it. So your girl is like putting the hammer. Monet is like ready to kill her, and Zoe is so icy at this point. He went past the point of exploding. He's mad at everybody in the room, but he just ices it down and he says, "You better leave." And I'm like, "Yeah, you better." All right, so Monet's jumping all around the street. She's driving her Benzo. She's like, oh, Reese, talk to me, Zeke. And she goes to the one place where Zeke always runs to hide his little face in some what?
In some Carrie Milgram.
There you go. So she's like, I figure he's going to come here eventually. And as long as, I lost all this today. And then she's like, how did you lose it? He's like, I've been telling a lie, a lifetime of lies. And then she's like, I feel the same way. I've lost everything. Well, she's like, well, I'm not going to lose Zeke. And you're the one, as long as you're around, he's always going to go running to you. He's never going to run back to me. So, of course, Zeke comes running over there. And who's he seeing swinging from the fan?
We're gonna call it a what I believe to be an assisted suicide. I think it's a nice way of putting it. It was Professor Milgram trying to pay like she was on on an apple tree. And so, but I don't think she got up there on her own.
She got no help?
Any stretch of the imagination. I think she has some help. That's why I said assistant.
But
that's a nice way of calling it.
But let's be real. Okay, Al is no longer part of the picture. Mary J's henchman. And to my knowledge, that's the only henchman she's ever had. So I don't care how much weights or how many squats Mary's been doing. She's not going to hoist up like a 160-pound, 140-pound woman up into the ceiling fan.
I don't see Carrie Milgram, hanging herself from a ceiling fan on her own. I just don't see it. Not to mention, I mean, her killing herself would look really bad on the case against Tariq. And she knows she wants Tariq. So her killing herself.
But she doesn't anymore. Because if you looked at it, her mind was blown that Tariq was there to save her. To save Lauren. What? You what? Because she thought he was coming to kill her. So her mind's like, we don't know about that. But we still got to figure it out. Somehow she ended up, swinging. And And I'm not saying that she did kill herself. I'm just saying, how did Mary J pull that joint off? Let's go forward to another shocking episode. So let's see, the body count's piling up. We got Drew taking people out. We got Carrie taken out. So you got 3 in a row. Your boy is sitting there, and they've gone up and they've pretty much cleaned up the GTG headquarters. And your boy's popping caps in people's skulls, mopping up. Mecca is, and then he's like, I've discovered the mole. And he's playing with his little switchblade thingy, and he just like does a chef on chef.
While he's looking at Kane, I think we kind of all thought he was going to go to Kane for a second, but let me say this. The camera angle, the way he looked at Kane after the fact, I think he knew Kane was actually the culprit. I don't think he's mad because I think he is such a puppet master that doesn't actually piss him off. What actually keeps him going is the fact that he knows what's going on. But I think him and Chef had another issue, and it was, he was like, I'm done with Chef anyways. I'm gonna just kill Chef and make you think that I don't know you got away. Yeah, you got away with shady ass shit.
So here we go, man. We coming up, and look, hey, I finally won. Little Guap went down. It took a couple episodes.
Little Guap should have been dead a long time ago. But
golly, oh my God.
And he barely died. He should have had one in the back of his head and it'd have been over with and they would never had to fight. Drew might learn a lesson here. Put one in his head when you've got the drop on him, and then that way you save your ribs. Because now your ribs are broken.
Or you could just, like the Biggie lyric says, I chopped them up and then I started talking to the pieces.
Could do that too.
Take care of business first. You were saying Carrie got to go. I was saying Little Guap got to go, and we both got what we needed.
We were both correct.
And we're both RIPing right now on Chef until we find out the real dirt later on, because he was just he was too upset with him ahead of time.
Exactly.
So, coming attractions. It's getting nuttier. So first of all, Dante is over by a trash bin firing. Second of all, Monet is grabbing Zeke and hunched up with him, and she has a gun out, and they're behind a trash can. There's drive-by getting ready to go by, and they're popping caps at Monet and Zeke, and Dante's rushing in to save the day. Now, was this staged by Dante? Was this GTG and revenge?
I think it's somebody recent. I would say it's probably GTG, or it's Zoe, and I personally think it's Zoe. You've been lying to me our entire existence. This is your son. You got me out here doing business with the father of your son.
No, he don't know that yet. Slow your roll. He don't know that yet.
He knows Dante.
No, he doesn't. He knows Mecca. He doesn't know Dante. He knows Mecca.
I think he knows.
Then you got a situation where Tariq's coming into his dormitory, and there's a light-skinned gun on a hand, which could be either bald individuals in the show, but it's a black jacket and some gray slacks. And Alonzo does not wear gray slacks.
Lonzo does not wear gray slacks. That is a true statement.
Maybe there were some cameras that they didn't know about in the building that ran, especially somebody who's security-minded, like Mecca might have it up in there. Do you think that he is putting pieces together and he knows that Tariq was involved somehow?
How would he know Tariq's involved? Tariq was nowhere near it.
That's true, but that's the point.
Tariq was nowhere near it. I think he would have to know because he would have seen who was in his house. He'd have seen it was Drew. If it is Mecca that's in his house, I think it's Mecca coming to him as almost as like an ally, but like, I don't know, so I'm coming with my gun out. But almost like, hey, look, they ripped me off. And I know that they did it. So how are we going to work together to respond? Because obviously, I think they cut you out of this.
Nah, I don't think he has any type of trust for Tariq. But then to look at the situation where it's like, I think if anything, Kane might have told him that it was masterminded by Tariq.
I don't think so at all. I mean, because, you saw Kane's face when he sliced Chef's throat. Okay. Kane walked away and shut the fuck up because the problem is there's no way Kane would tell Mecca that Tariq had anything to do with this, because at the end of the day, He's never gonna believe he know they work together. So I think it's more so Mecca coming in Tariq like this is what's going on because he has no loyalty anymore to the family for real. You know, he knows it's blowing up at this point. I think he came to Tariq with like a, hey, let's work together. I really do.
That's possible. I mean, on the drug tip, maybe. But
on a drug tip, yeah, on a drug tip.
But I got to make my little doc comment on the slicing of the neck. First of all, if you hit his carotids, it would have been bright red blood and it would have been spurting. All right, and if you hit his jugular veins, then it would have been dark like it was, but it wouldn't have made him drop right away.
At the same time, he didn't necessarily go wide enough to really hit any of them. He kind of missed them. If you look at the width of the incision, he missed the ones that would actually, kind of guarantee.
He wouldn't even have fallen then. He wouldn't even have fallen.
I know. That's why I said they made the incision a little bit small. I mean, obviously, we're grasping at straws here, but he didn't go this wide. It was literally from like here to here.
Yep.
And it was like, okay, well, you didn't hit anything that would have actually had him fall and bleed out like that. You didn't hit. But
it would have been a cool injury because he would have been like trying to breathe through his trachea. All right, so we got all this crazy stuff about to happen next. I mean, they're really trying to really cook us for a 10. And then you got to keep in mind, man. We got to do double duty coming up too in 2 episodes because we're ending Ghost Book 2 Season 2 and we're beginning Force Book 1, same night.
So let me ask you a question. Does Ghost Book 2 end after the 2nd season or does it go for a 3rd? I think it's going for a 3rd.
Oh, no doubt.
I think they got 2. It's going for a 3rd.
They're going to make it happen. All right. So this is an incredible episode. Shout out to the creators on that one, man. It really got us on the edge of our seats. So signing off, your boy Warhog, your boy E-Dot, and Invisadil. Say what's up, Invisadil.
Invisadil.
Come on, man.
Did you hear it?
No, it was like, was that Gollum from Lord of the Rings?
That's me hitting my shot glass against the mic.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like calling out for Precious or something. I was like, all right, man. See y'all next time. Thanks a lot.
Y'all take care.
Have a good one.
Powerheads. That was Mecca was like Fiend and he was going to give it to Monet and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's downgraded like a mug. But so
what do you mean downgraded? You remember when Kobe bought Vanessa that purple diamond? No. Real colored diamonds like that are extremely expensive.
No, I'm saying he's getting that ring for Monet is downgrading the ring.
Oh, downgrading the ring. Oh yeah, completely agree. Yeah.
Are we like this, bro? Are we like this now?
No, we're here. We're here now.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about the ring. I was like, no.